If you look at other vendors out there that provide these kind of tools, the Hogans kind of stand out, as I would say, at the top of the ladder. I've known them for decades, I've worked with them for decades, and if there's a question I have about personality assessment, I call the Hogans, I don't call someone else.
Bob Hogan was absolutely fundamental in the beginning what is the current, almost sort of tidal wave of influence of the five-factor model.
When we started talking about leadership, the conventional wisdom of the business schools and departments of psychology was there's no such thing as leadership. And we put that on the table, and I think we did. I mean, we got people talking about leadership.
What is astonishing about Bob is that he clarifies things very quickly. He says, well, there's only 3 fundamental questions or whatever. And you think, my God, there's not 3 fundamental questions, there's 8 fundamental. But he clarifies things and sets things in proportion and has a historical perspective, and that's very attractive.
Discovering the power relative to other personality instruments, discovering that validity coefficients viewed through the 5-factor lens tended to be better than the same data looked at through other lenses, which I suppose is the test.
Using the Hogan assessment methodology has been really a revelation to me.
Bob Hogan has written, I think, with more wisdom than most in the field.
The writing around Hogan is so coherent and so clear.
I think in the 90s and now in the 2000s, personality has become a mainstay in the assessment of all major leaders' performance.
We were the people who put the discussion of personality back on the map. I mean, we showed that personality was consequential.
I think the contribution that Bob and Joyce Hogan have made to personality testing is phenomenal.
The HDS, from my perspective, is world-leading because it has no competitors. It has no competitors at all. It is the only test which measures those criteria. I'm taking for granted that we know about the validity of the test.
Validity is providing data to show that scores on your test predict performance someplace else.
So many vendors say, trust me, my tool works. And in many cases, they have no data to support that. But the Hogans, you've got data that shows that it works.
And it just makes me crazy, because if you don't take validity seriously, it means it's like playing tennis with the net down. You can just put crap out there and sell it. And our most effective single sales technique is to say, let's run a horse race. Let's run your test against our test and see which one predicts the outcome best. Nobody wants to go there because they always lose.
What all the Hogan suite do, the feedback on each dimension is extraordinarily detailed and extraordinarily accurate and extraordinarily useful. No test anywhere gives anything like it by a long way.
We're the only standard bearer for quality in psychometrics in the world.
What the Hogan helped me better understand is kind of where some of my own blind spots were, as well as get to better understand my team. So for me, I think it made me a way better leader when I was running all of International. It's one of the areas that the Hogan tools have been invaluable for us here at DirecTV, and I use them at PepsiCo as well. I hate being put in a box, and personalities are different.
I just find the 3 tools together just a wonderful amalgam of information. They really paint such a coherent picture of the person.
They all tend to tap new kind of ideas, but every time one of these tools is put together, it's put together based on research, data, and validation. And I think that's one of the things that distinguishes Hogan completely.
What the Hogan tests do more than any other, by a long, long way, is the quality of the reports. The quality of the reports is astonishingly good. And the reason is it's so useful. And I've always said to people, I've got a friend, and I said, model yourself on Hogan. If you can do feedback like that, if you can provide feedback which is so extraordinarily subtle and sensitive and useful, you've won.